Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the long-awaited tongue piercing video. And yes, I do have a tongue piercing, but I don't especially show it all too much. I really enjoy having it, and in this video I'm gonna talk about when I got it, what I used for the healing process, how the healing process went, etc., the jewelry I wear, all that fun stuff. So yeah, if you're interested, keep on watching. So first of all, when did I get my tongue pierced? I got my tongue pierced when I was 19, maybe about 20, so that was 4 years ago now. And the person who did it is Veerle from Now Skin Culture, but back then she was still an apprentice. So it was one of the first tongue piercings she ever did, and she did it completely perfectly according to the rules, so I'm super happy with it. And one myth about tongue piercings is that you will have a lisp no matter what if you get your tongue pierced, and that you will talk funny. Well, that is not true. There's two ways of piercing a tongue piercing. The first one is going straight through the tongue, which we didn't do on mine. But that method actually damages the skin that connects your tongue to your mouth. So there's one tiny piece of skin there, you will see it if you lift your tongue up. And if they pierce straight through your tongue, chances are they're piercing through that as well, which will cause a lisp. Now, I had my tongue pierced another way, so kind of crookedly through it. What this will do is this will ensure that you do not pierce through that piece of skin and that you will not have a lisp. Now, aesthetically, it doesn't really change a thing from the top view, so you will still see it in the middle of my tongue. But from the bottom view, you will see that it is kind of off to one side. Now, I personally do not mind this at all, since I am not big on showing my tongue piercing off to everyone. So the day I got my tongue pierced, I actually went to the shop early afternoon, so I had already eaten beforehand, so I had like breakfast and then lunch. So the only meal that day that if something with the piercing wasn't going too well, that I would have to skip was maybe supper. Actually, my tongue didn't swell up that much. They put in a bar that was way too big for my mouth, and 1 week later I was supposed to get in and get a shorter bar, which actually happened as well. So that is quite normal for piercings, for tongue piercings. In the early stages, you will get a way larger bar that is put through your piercing to accommodate for the swelling during the healing process. And it is essential that you keep that bigger bar the first 3 to 4 days until you notice that the swelling goes away, and that you have another appointment with your piercer, who will then have a look and decide if you can go a size smaller or not. Now, since I got pierced, I actually went down 2 sizes. So the first time I went down a size was about a week after I got pierced, because I barely had any swelling of my tongue. The piercing was healing just fine, so I went to the shop. I showed my piercing to the piercer and Veerle, who then was an apprentice. They decided I could go a size smaller, so they changed the bar. Now, I have had that size bar in my mouth for quite a long time, until I saw Veerle again. I don't know where it was or when it was. She was like, "Can I have a look at your tongue piercing just to see how it's doing?" And I showed it to her. She was like, "Yeah, you can't even downsize more because now you're hurting your teeth." And it was true that I was biting on the ball sometimes because it would stick out so much out of my tongue. But since it was my first time getting a tongue piercing, I did not have a lot of friends with tongue piercings. I had no clue, so I actually downsized twice since I got pierced. So the original bar, I have no clue what size it was. If I can find how long this one is, because I've been wearing the same one that I ordered 5 times from the piercing shop. For the healing process, so normally the first few days it's really hard to eat solid foods. Now, I have no clue why, but the first day I didn't have too much trouble. I didn't have a lot of swelling, it wasn't bleeding. I took care of my piercing with Hextril, which is a mouthwash that doesn't have alcohol in it, and that's important. You can use a caretaking mouthwash. Most of the times the piercing shops will give you some. I rinsed my mouth accordingly to the instructions that my piercer gave me, so it's really important that you listen to them and not to this advice video of something I did 4 years ago. So after after I got pierced, I drank some like cold coffee drinks that day. At the evening when I was home, we had like mashed potatoes, so I was able to eat and I didn't have all too many problems with my piercing. So I contacted Veerle to ask her, is it okay if I start eating normally again? She was like, yeah, sure, if you can handle it, if it doesn't hurt, go ahead and eat the food you want to eat. Just be sure not to eat anything too spicy or too hot. So I could eat about anything I wanted. So on day 2 we went eat French fries and hamburgers, and I did not have any issues at all. So for me the healing process was super easy. I have a few friends who've had their tongue pierced who the first week were on a diet of juices and everything because they weren't able to eat anything. So for me personally, the healing time was really short. I think it was in about 2 weeks that it completely healed. It's inside your mouth. There's lots of good and bad germs there that make sure it heals well. I've never had any issues with it. The only time I did have an issue was when the bar was too long and I was biting on it. I have worn a BioFlex barbell for a while, but what would happen is if you bite on one of those plastic BioFlex balls, you will scratch it. So after a while the balls just broke and I had to replace them way too often. And I went to my dentist recently and asked her, well, is there any damage on my teeth from my tongue piercing? And she said that the only damage was on like a one spot on the back side of my teeth where I had braces, so there's still some glue and like a wire connected on the back of my teeth, and that's the only spot that she could notice any damage from my tongue piercing, which is awesome. And she said that the bar was short enough not to hurt my teeth too much. So I'm very lucky with it. After 4 years, I'm still super happy I got it done. I just got it done because it's a piercing you can easily hide, and I just love piercings. It's not for any sexual reasons before someone starts asking. It's not for anything rude. It's not to be against my parents. It's nothing special. It's just a tongue piercing and I really enjoy it. It's a fun piercing. It's easy to maintain. The only thing that you get is like the thing that accumulates on your teeth as well will accumulate on the lower wall of your piercing that is in the bottom of your mouth. So every 2 months I take it out and I replace the entire bar with the 2 balls and then clean it, and then after 2 months I put it back in. So I constantly have a bar in my tongue and that doesn't bother me at all. So this was my video about my tongue piercing. If you still have any questions at all, be sure to ask them in the comment section. I will be more than happy to reply to you. If you make any nasty comments about my tongue piercing, I will just delete them. So don't bother because you're wasting your time actually writing them. Yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every week and I would love to have you here. And until next time, thanks for watching and I will see you soon. Bye!